Good evening and welcome to episode 4 of the InkCaster Saga. I'm your host, David, and we're incredibly excited to be back with you all. So, thank you for joining us again. Today, we're pumped to introduce yet another member of the InkCasters, Marc. Talk about a pretty sensational set champs weekend that we had as a team across two different events and really get into the future of deck construction since we've gotten some more information on Fabled, what it means for the reprints, and what we've got coming out for us. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in. And let's start with my fellow Lorcana dad, Marc. Cheers to you. Thanks for joining us, Lorcana dad
Good
and
to be here.
bourbon enthusiast. So introduce yourself to everyone that's watching and joining us on this journey.
Yeah. My name is Mark. I'm one of the newer InkCasters and so happy to be a part of the team. It's a great team, a lot of great people, a lot of great conversation, just like we had right before the pod started. Love how we all get into it. And you know what? So happy to be the first Mai Tai, but not the Mai Tai Prime. That's Zeke.
Absolutely. So, yeah, thanks, bud. I appreciate that. No, we're super excited to have you on the team, not only from your experience, but just help that you can provide, not only from the card sense, because, brother, you have some cards.
Hey,
I don't think there's been a time I've come to you in the last 6 months and said, "Hey, I need this," and Mark has said, "Oh, I don't have that." So yeah, you're definitely the team plug when it comes to cards. So I appreciate that. But tell us a little bit about your TCG experience, kind of what you've been playing, what got you into Lorcana overall.
yeah. So I actually got back into Magic in like 2009, right before the M10 rule changes, just to have something to do. And it was actually a lot of fun. Got really deep into Magic, ended up attending a bunch of GPs throughout the years and the like, a couple day twos at those events. Nothing too horribly, crazy like our some of our other people who are heading off to the SSG championships coming up in a couple
Woo-hoo.
weeks. That's right. But had a really a good time playing that game and got into Lorcana about a year ago with one of my buddies. And I'll tell you right now, I was so against even thinking about this game. I'm not a Disney person. My wife and kid are, and I love that for them. But when it comes down to it, I just wasn't super excited until one of my buddies was like, "Hey, we need a fourth for a sealed that we're gonna do." And I said begrudgingly on a Saturday night, all right, I'll do it. Are you guys gonna have my favorite beverage there? And they said yes. So I showed up, put a deck together with 6 packs of Into the Inklands, played my first match against actually a friend of the Incasters, if you will, Joe, and he beat me 2-1. Went ahead and played another one of our buddies and 2-0'd him. And I was like, wait a second, there's a lot of interesting lines to this game. Okay, I can see past some of the things with the IP. I went home later that night, show up, and I say to my wife, okay, this is going to sound really, really strange, but I think I really like this Disney TCG and I'm going to start playing it a little bit more. And she looked at me, was like, are you on something? I'm like, no, I promise. So just dove in from there. The local community has been absolutely great, and just super phenomenal to be here and share with the rest of the team.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Yeah, for me, it was kind of the reverse. The IP brought me in, but
Hmm.
I vividly remember sitting down at SSG at one of the side pods where I started doing really well and starting to actually see the lines and learning all my outs. And I'm like, that's when I think I was like really hooked and
Yep.
just kind of that more competitive bug hit. So that's awesome hearing your experience with it. So yeah, we're definitely excited to have you on the pod, especially with our Fabled conversation today as it comes to kind of the future of deck construction. But that being said, we had some awesome decks built this weekend that got us moving to our third mat as a team overall. We brought in a mat on Saturday and a mat on Sunday, all to InkCasters, and Dylan again showing his strength, representing for us at Chaos on Saturday. So, what happened on Saturday, Dylan, that led to you getting a mat for the team, a second mat for the team?
Chaos was fun. It was not a huge set champs. And a lot of the local players that we know from like South Florida and the SSG area. Um, yeah, I went and I ended up playing Purple Steel, a deck that I just kind of want to, I guess, run it back with one last time before the rotation, with the rabbits and stuff. And yeah, just give it one more go. And surprising, there was actually quite a lot of other purple steel decks there. So I didn't actually end up playing the mirror at all. I think there was like six of them there, and I didn't play any of them. But me and Fernando was on purple steel as well in the final, so we ended up splitting. But yeah, it was fun. I ended up playing Mai in Swiss, and then again in top. Unfortunately, you never want to run into a teammate, but it was good games. They were really close, and yeah, we just had a good time. Felt kind of like a local, I guess. Just everybody there. We're always playing tournaments against them, but it was good. I think I'm trying to remember my matchups. Obviously, my twice on Blurple, played a green purple discard. I don't. There was no red blue. I remember that. Don't really remember what else I played, but it went pretty well. Purple Steel kind of did its thing. It's a very consistent deck, and yeah, it was fun.
That's awesome, man. Any changes that you made? Because I know you've been on Purple Steel for a while. We know that's kind of your main thing and what's won you some of the bigger tournaments at SSG. Anything that you brought into the deck from set eight, or were you still kind of running that same bounce package list with Cobra that we were all kind of using in set seven?
Yeah, it's pretty similar. Set seven, I think I definitely bounced around with the dock build too. But this was a rabbits build with the bounce package. And I mean, really, the only main thing is I cut down a bit on the Elsas. I still ran some. A lot of people are trying stuff like dump truck and stuff like that. But it just feels a little bit too inconsistent, especially if you hit like red blue or something. So I opted to throw in a couple fire the cannons to try and help with the Diablo decks. And other than that, it's pretty standard. It's like rabbits, my removal package like strength and Zeus. You run goats, cobras, all that instant lore gain, a couple white roses. It feels like a good mix. I think I'm on 10 one drops, snakes, foxes, all that good amethyst bounce stuff. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I value the consistency out of those decks a little bit more. And when you start adding cards like dump truck, it tends to be a little bit too inconsistent for me. So
Right, and the other thing too is we've got so much practice in on some of those staples already. When you kind of mix those different things up, those one-offs, are they really adding any value, or are they kind of just messing up with your flow that you're already used to operating under?
right, exactly. And honestly, for me, a big part of the playing deck is because I've played it so much, and I really did want to give it one last hurrah with the rabbit specifically because I'm pretty sure rabbit's getting rotated out. I think the Doc Genie build will still be a good deck after rotation, and we'll talk about that later. But I knew rabbit was going, so I was like, I want to give it one more go, and it paid off. It's a really good deck in the meta right now. So if anyone's wondering about Purple Steel, I would definitely recommend it. It's not super hard to pilot, and being able to peep bounce is huge right
Yeah,
now. Stops a lot
the
of game plans.
Oh, especially with the discard running rampant, right?
Yeah.
So that's massive. The peep bounce is huge. Pull a couple of those rabbits out of the hat. Shout out to Zeke who told me that same week Purple Steel is dead. That deck is cooked. And look at Dylan pulling a mat out running that deck. So uh obviously, man, great job. Again, one of the more competitive players on the team, and you've proven it 2 weeks in a row. Shout out to Fernando as well. Obviously, you guys chopped for that, and you guys came down to the end there. So that's awesome that you guys were able to work that out. But super proud of you as always. And yeah, that was kind of the kickoff of the weekend because Sunday we had Prodigy, where obviously a good showing from us as InkCasters as a team. But at the end of the day, doesn't matter how many people that you have there, you still have to perform. And I feel the team performed incredibly well. I mean, we of our top eight for Prodigy, six of the folks were ink casters, and we had people bubble out as well. So, like, we were very close to having a full top eight. of InkCasters, which would have been fun, right? I think we were all joking about, hey, let's chop this mat 8 ways, literally, and all be holding a piece of the mat, which would have been fun. But ultimately, it came down to Zeke and Mai that won the entire thing and kind of chopped it there at the end, which is great. Nice to be able to take the mat to one home and not have to physically split it in half. But Mark, we'll kind of start with you. Talk us through your experience with set champs this weekend over at Prodigy, and we'll kind of work our way around since we were all there and finish out with the champions of the weekend on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday was a huge difference day for me. I played a set championships on Saturday with an experimental deck that had some ridiculous number of uninkables in it. I'm not gonna lie, there may have been 22. I did not enjoy it. It was painful. So I came and showed up on Sunday with a deck that had 9 uninkables in it, and that was much better. Started off real slow on this new list that I hadn't played of an Amber Steel mid range, focusing more on Beyond the Horizon and You Have Forgotten Me. And, that was all on my buddy Matt. Matt was like, Mark, you got to play Beyond the Horizon in your Amber Steel deck because doing that to someone on turn 3 after they finish their turn 2 is just bad. Just bad. So I did. And I tell you right now, Matt, I did that a couple times and I understand what you're talking about right now. That was harsh. That was hard. Sort of felt bad, but only a little bit. Started off real slow, and yeah, from there, just decided to start playing well, and ended up going and finishing 3-2, bubbled out at 10th. Not upset about that. It's a good way to end the weekend, just with a good comeback.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as long as you feel good about how you ended up and your overall gameplay, like that's the space that I'm kind of operating in right now. Obviously, some folks on the team are more experienced in TCGs in general, and I'm just looking for consistent progress, right? If I can say that
Yes.
I'm better one event to another, I'm happy. Like I left Sunday super happy,
Hmm.
finishing 3-2, right? And having a good showing I played a very tough matchup against a Blurple deck, and it literally came down to a bell that he top decked a bell, was able to move the damage off my genie onto my Shadow Finder, killed my Shadow Finder, and it just kind of like nuked me from there on
Mm.
game 3. But overall, like that was my toughest matchup as far as like where it was tight. But then I had a really good matchup against Chris P, one of the guys. What team is Chris on? Do we know? I can't remember. Is it Illuminati?
I think he's
It's
on
Illuminati.
Illuminati.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
So I had played Chris in a side pod event at SSG during one of the tournaments, and we kind of got down to the end. We didn't chop, and we kind of played it out. And it was honestly the first time I had played against that crazy red blue items deck. And this
Oof.
was again early on in the process for me. And there's so many things happening. I mean, there were still so many things happening on Sunday when I play them that I'm just taking it at face value because I'm like, I don't even know if this is right, but we're gonna roll with it. So I hated that I lost in the side event to him because I lost a box and an enchanted. So it felt good beating him on Sunday at Set Champs and taking down that items list. And the satisfaction of Brunoing 2 out of his 4 Sisus was very cathartic for me.
Oh.
Death to Sisu, and yes, yes, enjoyed getting them out of there. So that was a fun win. I did have to play Matt as well, so him and I had a good matchup as well. That went back and forth and ended up with great gameplay there. But overall, I'm happy with my overall performance and just growth. Right, looking for growth in the game, especially as we move into rotation. So let's go to Matt. We haven't heard from you yet today. What was Sunday like for you as one of the first people in the top 8?
Uh, Discard do what discard does. Let's start off there. Every single time I had Under the Sea in my hand, I heard Sebastian screaming out loud, "It's time!" I heard that crab starting to dance and do the jig, and discard does what discard does.
Except for
All the
that one
matches,
time when you had 4 in your hand.
yeah. Except the matches I had 4 in my hand, kept drawing into them. I was like, wow. The one time I did not want it, I got it, which is fine. Every match was super good. I round 1, I think I played a Steel Song, and usually when they go wide, again, Undersea comes down and clears pretty much everything.
Yeah.
You have key to Undersea combo. It's nothing's really stopping that. Round 2, I hit a Blurple, and again, if you can cut them off from their ramp early, you pretty much should win that matchup. Or if you can get their hand to 0 as long as they don't draw into pop friends, my as long as they don't draw into that, you should be able to stop them quickly. Round 3, I actually got my revenge round 3, and I hit somebody that beat me on stream at the SSG. It was the SSG. Actually, it was the set champs at SSG. And I actually got my revenge of taking down one of our local people that plays at Prodigy. And then round 4, I helped one of our teammates get into the top 4 to get him his card. So I ended up giving him the win to make sure we had the best outcome as a team.
Shout out
So
to Matt.
yeah, so and then round 5, I hit Dave, and that game was I couldn't even describe it. Like, the game was super fun. He out of everybody that's learning the game, wants to get better, Dave is your person. I'm telling you right now, that man wants to get better, wants the outcomes, wants everything. Sorry, about this game. He wants to get better. Like, that's just how he is.
Appreciate
And
you,
like, I
brother.
couldn't be more proud than to say that in person.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, no, our match was super fun. I did forget to mention that Zeke's a cheater, and I lost to Zeke in one of my 2 losses, and I don't know, this man was pulling friends out of, like, he's wearing that bucket hat. He had like 12 friends hidden in that bucket hat all of a sudden. So
If I could describe to you my top 8 match against I turned everything sideways to sing under the sea, clear the board, and all of a sudden a big monstro comes down. I'm like, yep, I'm cooked. Here it comes, and it's Monstro, discard card, restand Monstro. I was like, oh no. And from there, I was like, yeah, I'm cooked. I can't come back from this.
game
But
over.
yeah,
So you lost to Mai in top 8, right? Made
yeah,
top 8, lost to Mai, and
yep.
she continues to go on. So Dylan, what about you for the weekend at Prodigy for Sunday? So obviously you made top 8, rolling the same deck from Saturday, and kind of what got you that point, and who did you end up playing in your top 8 matchup that knocked you out?
Yeah, so Prodigy went pretty well for me. I started off 3-0 and then ID in the top 8. It was pretty straightforward. Started off against Churn Dogs, and I'm not super worried about that matchup, but Churn Dogs can always just kind of high roll you. But I mean, honestly, he did kind of have a pretty strong start both games. I was on the draw too, and I won 2-0 on the draw, so both games on the draw, which is very interesting. But Purple still kind of handles that deck pretty well if you know what you're doing. So that was a good win. And then I ended up playing, I think, the Chris from the Illuminati on the items deck. Yeah, that matchup was interesting. He doesn't really have the time to do what he wants to do in that deck against Purple Steel.
Yep.
It's a bit too fast. Sisu, there was one game, I think he took a game just because he was like able to triple big Sisu all in a row, and it's like that kind of just shuts down Purple Steel. And then, so yeah, I ended up taking that one. And my third match was actually interesting too. I played against one of the newer local players that was playing Purple Steel as well. So it was a mirror match. And he actually played quite well. And I noticed that he had like a Magic playmat, and I figured that he was probably like an ex-Magic player. And I think Marc knows him as well.
Yep.
For being a new player, he played it pretty well. He actually took the first game, and that mirrors just kind of like who sees more draw. So I was able to kind of stabilize the next 2 and just kind of outvalue them. But that was a really good game. That was close. And then yeah, I just ID'd with I think Zeke and then someone else to get in the top 8. And then top 8, hit Nixon. I'm on the play, and my deck just said, nope, you're not taking it tonight. It was
Not today. Somebody else's turn.
no, and that's already, so that matchup I'd say is already pretty 50-50. I mean, so he's on Amber or Emerald Amethyst discard. So basically like what you and Zeke were playing. And I've beaten that deck before on Purple Steel, but I need to have timely removal for the Diablos.
Yep.
He had Diablo Shift both games, didn't have removal. The second game, I was just slamming rabbits into his double Diablos, which doesn't feel great, but it was actually a very close game. I drew so many cards and I was one lore off. And then also if I had seen removal at any point, I just win the game. So, but yeah, I couldn't really do much in those games. That's sometimes just how it goes, especially when you're playing against Diablo decks. If it gets that much value, you just kind of lose. But it was a fun day overall. I really enjoyed like seeing all of our team there and all of our team doing well. I'm super stoked to kind of recreate that experience at the bigger events. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Those set champs are cool, but like when you're at like those big like DLCs and stuff, that's you really start to get amped up and like you're really rooting for if someone on your team is doing good, like going pushing for day two. It's such a cool feeling. So I'm hyped for that. But Sunday was a lot of fun, and I'm super happy that everybody here did well, and super happy for my and Zeke on taking it down.
Yeah, likewise. I looking forward to some of those bigger events as the team. I know we've talked about that where already we're having folks plan on going to CCS and a couple of other events here and there on top of the DLC. So super pumped for that. But yeah, to your comment about the two guys that came over from Magic, they showed up to Dig a couple weeks ago for the first time. Kesey and I think it's Donald is the
Donnie.
Donnie. And I played Kesey. He's who I played in that round one Blurple match that was super tight. So yeah, they're great
Mhm.
players, and anytime we add good folks to the local community, it helps keep the game going and growing. But to your comment on the Nixon matchup, yeah, those Diablos are just kind of crucial, and if you can't deal with them sometimes, I mean that's what won me one of my matchups with uh, again against Chris was I had two Diablos exerted, and when he started drawing stuff, I was just that was kind of the hardest thing, making sure I was hitting some of those triggers to draw as many cards as I possibly can to set myself up. But yeah, I think for the most part, Nixon was on the same 60 that me and Zeke were. I think he made some tweaks. Do you know what he changed, Zeke?
From the Jordan list originally.
Yeah, the 60 that you and I were on, because I know he said he made
Um,
some changes.
we changed from the 60 that he won with, or not that he won with, but the 60 that he played on Saturday, we
Yep.
played one more wrong lever and we
Yep.
cut the hypnotic strength. I know I was talking to him recently and he said he cut hypnotized too to go up to two cove.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I kind of like that because Cove was crucial. Like in one of the games, I think game one against Matt, I just started slamming things into the Cove, and there was nothing you could do at that point.
Can't undersee something in Cove,
Yeah,
especially if it has two strength. I have to like hopefully see Pain or Kita, but it's a
yeah,
lot harder to clear it when all my characters have like one strength.
yeah. I like that addition. So, good point. Maybe I'll use that on Sunday. But to round out the weekend, we had the power couple of Mai and Ezekiel taking it down. So, Mai, ladies first, kind of talk us through what got you to the end there at the finish line.
Well, I would say my day was definitely interesting. I was late to the event because I came as soon as I got off work, which just happened to be, like me running 30 minutes late to the event. So I did have to take the round one loss. It would have been
No
against
big deal.
Joe. So honestly, I feel like I wouldn't have won that anyways, because he's super good. So. Um, I might, I'm not gonna like lie. I wasn't, I might have not even shown up if I didn't call Nixon because he got the bye that round. And I called him and I was like, would it even be worth it for me to go? You know? I'd have to pretty much like win out the rest of it in order to even have a chance to get into the top. Um, but he said, yeah, just come. And I was like, yeah, okay. Like just support the others. Then if worst comes to worst. And then I came and second round, I got the bye. So I would have probably used it better in the first round, but it's whatever. That's what happened. So, and then in the third round, I got paired up against Ethan on Steel's song, but like more like an aqua version. He got me almost in both rounds, but I found my Hades. I found my way out of it. So that was pretty good for those rounds. And then in the fourth round, I played against who did I play against?
The new
Third?
the
Donnie.
Donnie.
I also
Donnie.
played against him on Purple Steel. Um, he he was like Dylan said, he was really good on it. So like it scared me because the day before I got beaten by Purple Steel with Dylan on it. And in the first round it didn't like after the first round it didn't look promising because he was on the play and then he won and I was on the play and I won and then he was on the play again, but l like luckily for me, he didn't see his outs just like Dylan didn't with Nixon. So I was super lucky and I also found like all my Hades again. So that helped a lot. And then in the fifth round, I did with Taylor to get into the top eight, where I played Matt. And like he said, like first round he took it, second round I took it, and then third round I found my Monstro into all of his exerted Prince Johns, which he Monstro lost to eat up, so he feasted on it. And then I played Nixon in the top four and 2-0'd him. And then I played Zeke on rock, paper, scissors to win the match.
That's awesome. Yeah, that Blurple deck is nasty. You've made me a believer, made me get in before the lock and pick up my playset to make sure I have that ready to go because I think that's just going to be super viable, even more viable than it is now, post rotation. And man, Ethan is a good kid. He keeps showing up with his dad Joe, and keep trying to take some of us down. Like I lost a game to him, so I played him round two. I ended up winning 2-1. But man, there's just one game like he came out triple daisies off the rip, and I'm like, what am I gonna do against this? Like if I don't see some removal here, I'm just kind of cooked. He's just turning sideways and that's it. But he's a good player, especially for his age. But I did feel bad. You guys were behind me when you were playing him, and I just heard him yell, "How many Hades do you have?"
That was the funniest moment of the day. Dude,
It really was.
he stands up, like points at her, and he's like, "You have five Hades in there or what?"
Well, the thing was, I played my two Hades and then I top decked the last
Oh
one
no.
to like pretty much guarantee me to win, and then I bounced it again and then played it again. So it felt
Yeah,
a bit like mean, but
yeah,
like
it just felt like rinse and repeat there with the Hades, and I get there. I've been there on the other side of that before, but yeah, I think that was definitely a memorable moment, and I think that's a fun thing too about some of these like set champs and tournaments, like when funny things happen like that. Yeah, we remember the wins and losses, but those funny moments as a team or the other things that we experience is cool as well. So my congratulations for beating Zeke in rock paper scissors,
thank you.
and obviously taking the round one loss and still winning out there. That's super impressive. And Zeke, what got you to losing that rock, paper, scissors against your better half?
Yeah, it was a super good day. It was kind of like revenge day for me because like round one, I get Fernando, and like on Saturday at Chaos, Fernando like destroyed me 2-0. And like a matchup that I thought was like pretty favorable for me. Like I kind of drew like super dead.
What was Fernando on?
Purple Steel. It's very
Oh, he was
similar
on
to
Purple
Dylan,
Steel.
but he was playing genies. I don't
Okay,
think like Dylan, you're not on any genies, right?
that's
No,
wild.
not on any genies.
Yeah, yeah. He was on.
So your draw engine is just rabbit there, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just bouncing rabbits, and friends. But I think he said that he was on four rabbits, two genies, or something. Like it was more rabbits, I believe, than
Yeah,
genie.
it was more
Yeah.
rabbit. I think it was three genies. He sent. Well, so what's funny is he didn't think he was going that day. So I was texting him Sunday morning about both of our lists and the matchup. So like he sent me his whole list. He was asking me like, oh, how many pants, how many Yagos. So I was telling him all that. We were talking about the matchup, and then he shows up, and I'm like, why are you here? He's like, oh, I was able to make it, and then I get paired with him round one. But we were able to 2-0. He
Brother,
drew.
you gave him the inside track. What are you
I didn't think
doing?
he was gonna be there. He gave me. I mean, I had his whole list. I had his whole 60. Um, but he kind of drew like super dead too. So
Mm,
like I told him I want to play him again where we like both draw because like
yeah.
Saturday I dead, then like Sunday he drew like super dead. Like his like round one, game one, he couldn't even ink on turn four and couldn't
Oh
play
my
a card. Like his hand was like like two genies and a rabbit on three ink.
mm,
So the game was just over at that point.
brutal.
Then round two I played Joe who beat me last set champs at Dig in the finals to win his mat and deny me the mat. And those were really good games. We went 2-1. Um, game three I like full kept. And Cove is just like extremely broken. It's really strong in the purple red matchup
Hmm.
because like they can't just like pan on three because you have your Cove set up. So they either have to like spend a whole turn like clearing the Cove, then pan, or they need to like pan, then Genie. And by that point, like you've drawn like an extra two cards off the Diablo, and those extra two cards are really important. Because that matchup pretty much gets decided by like who has more cards by the time B prep is gonna come down. Because if like he has to B prep your board, but you have like five cards and he has two cards, like you're just gonna win from out from there.
Right.
Um, round three, I hit Dave, which I was like actually super nervous about because we're on the same 60 and the
And
matchup's like
we, yeah,
super flippy.
yeah, and it is. It's a super coin flip, and we tested against the mirror the that week, right?
Yeah.
So we knew what we were in for at that point,
And
except you cheated, but that's
and
okay.
and Dave won the dice roll, and he
Yeah.
like won. He won game three. Like we're like turn four, and his board's like two Diablos, a genie. He has Elsa in hand, and I like have nothing. And so I just like scoop on turn four.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh yeah, game one. That was nutty.
it
Yeah.
was like a 5 minute game one, so I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna scoop. I was like, there's no point. Um, game two was good, and then game three, like I saw Cove, and Cove's so good in a mirror matchup,
Yeah.
um, because he can't like pan me. I can still pan his Diablo. My Diablo can trade into his Diablo and live. Um, and then like once I had like established value because of Cove, I then saw like three friends in one turn. Like I
Yeah.
sang a friends, it drew me into another friends, and then I sang that friends, and it drew me into the third friends. And at that point, it was like my hand
Super
was like
fun.
so
Super
big.
duper fun.
Um, and then we ID'd with Dylan. And then we hit Jack in round five. And Jack wants to play it out for seeding, so I didn't get to just like ID in and chill. So I had to play against Jack. He crushed me like 2-1. Game three, I mulliganed all seven, and my starting hand was a Shift Diablo and six actions,
Oh my God.
which is just not what you want against Turner Dogs. The matchup's just over. Like I scooped it on like turn two. Like I showed him my hand and I was like, yeah, you got it. Like this game's over. Um, because like my top decks were like two more actions. So I just had no characters until turn three. And at that point, he'd already won the game. Um, and then went to top eight. Played Taylor, Red Blue, Shark, in top eight, and beat Taylor 2-0. That matchup's really tough for Sharks. Just because you can like you discard them so much, and I saw my discard, as well as like once the Maui comes down, you just like wrong lever it, or you just Bruno it. And it's like, or like the Sisu comes down, okay, you just wrong lever it, Bruno it. So like they have like these top deck bombs, but if you have like the Brunos and the wrong levers in hand, you just get rid of them immediately, and they're back to like top decking like visions to and like popsicles and stuff. Um, and then hit Jack again in top four, and Jack beat me as well at last prod set champs in top eight to eliminate me because he top decked like his one out. He needed like a kick cloud kicker. There was two left in his deck, and he top decked it so
Mm.
he could eliminate my board and then quest out. Um, so we played Jack round one. Game one, he beat me. I made like a huge misplay where I just like I had Chip and Cricky in hand, and I opted to like Cricky to like gain some board clear, but his one card left in hand was Chernobog. So like huge mistake there.
Mm.
And then game two was like I was on the play and I just outvalued. Like Turner Dogs is not like terrible on the play on the draw, but it's not the advantage of that deck is definitely being on the play.
Right.
And then I remember I looked over and Nixon starts like telling okay, so you're gonna want to for Turner Dogs, you're gonna mulligan this, keep this, dude. You're gonna play it like this, and it's like
We totally believed that he was gonna win. We totally thought he was gonna
like Mai was like getting ready. Nixon was giving her the full rundown.
win.
And then we saw like an amazing first seven. We saw like no actions, just all characters. We saw two crabs. We drew into a cricky like on turn 5. So we just saw like an amazing hand. But we went all the way to he got to 19 lore. The game was basically in a position where I had like 3 turns to quest out. Because it didn't really matter what he played, because I could just if he brought the Lilos back, I could just clear. And whatever he top deck and played, I had like 2 wrong levers and a Bruno.
Oh, perfect.
But he has Go-Go in his deck, and he's at 19, and my crab has 1 damage on it. And I asked him like, how many Go-Gos do you have left in your deck? And he's like, I have 3 Go-Gos left in the deck. So we're just like every turn, I'm just sitting there like, oh, you got it? He's like, nope. And I'm just like, oh, got it? Nope. And the last one, he top decks it, and he looks at it. He's like, you got it, man. And I was like, wow. So
Uh, you're clenching every time he was drawing a
yeah,
card,
oh my
huh?
God. It was like playing Russian roulette, I told him. Like every time I was
That that's funny. I mean, I'm glad I didn't run into Jack because of all the practice and testing I've done. That's the one deck that I even told you, Zeke, I'm like, I don't think I've tested against Dogs. Like that's the one that
yeah.
one, Jack's obviously a great player here in the local community, but two, I'm like, I don't know what to do against this deck that much. So I'm glad I avoided him. Good job taking that down. But yeah, so excellent. So yeah, definitely proud of you guys, proud of the team overall. Like I said, 2 mats for the weekend, 3 overall for the team so far going into set champs, and a whole bunch of enchanted Jafars across the group, which is nice. We have our next local set champs on Sunday, which is Dig, our kind of our home store where we try and make sure that we're always at for locals. So excited for that one. That one's always fun and looking forward to that. So yeah, moving on to our next topic here is going to be Fabled. We didn't get to talk about it last week, but let's take a look here. So, boom, boom, boom. Bam. There we go. So Lorecast last week, they gave us some more information. I know a lot of us had kind of been going back and forth on what we thought the reprint level would be at for this first set. And man, we got a whopping 171 reprints that are coming with Fabled here at the end of August. So Matt, I'll kind of start with you. When you heard that it was that many reprints, were you surprised? Did you think we would see more new cards in the mechanics that we would get added, or did you think this was about par for the course, knowing that you've been through kind of rotations with other TCGs before?
It all feels the same. 171 is a lot returning cards. I'll be honest with you. Like, who knows what they're gonna return? I need them to come out with it now so we can test for the invitational that's coming up. Like, that's all I've been begging for. I just need to see releases. Then I can start grinding for the invitational because we're all looking to win that. Myself, Dylan, Zeke, we're all looking to want to win that. So we want to test as soon as we can. With other like with other games, I played Pokemon, I've played Yu-Gi-Oh before. I right now I'm getting back into One Piece to try to figure that game out as well. All these games I played, they all have rotations. They all have different things going on. I'm so used to rotation that like yes, I'm upset at first because I put money into shiny cardboard, which I like doing. It's fine. But I'm just so used to rotation happening that like I know that putting time into a deck, it means that maybe in 3 months from now or maybe a year from now, that deck's not going to be viable. But with them returning so many cards, these decks that are going away might be viable still. I mean, we already seen that Blurple is still going to be running very, very, very strong. We know Amber Steel aggro. I've seen a couple Diggy Diggy Hole lists from the new set, from the like not just the new set but the old sets. that are still running very, very strong. So I mean, I think these big decks will come back depending on what is reprinted. But I don't think they're taking away anything like specifically that is gonna like we're not gonna be able to build into because all these cards are still coming back. So
Right, so six legendary is huge. We already know a couple of them, right? One being the Hades, that we kind of got the leak that Hades is going to be one of the legendaries. Staple in the Blurple deck now, so that's what we think, like we were discussing earlier, that Blurple is going to be really prevalent and strong going into post rotation here. But yeah, I mean, I overall like this is my first experience with the rotation, but I was still very much surprised it was that many cards coming back. I didn't think
it's
it would
definitely
be
gonna
that
be
heavy of a
fun.
number.
It's definitely
So,
gonna be fun. Lots of testing.
yep. So,
We're gonna take our time make and stuff like that.
yep. So, Dylan, you were making a comment earlier about rotation and what kind of decks were going to look like. Do you want to kind of expand knowing what we know now here with 171 and the 33 new mechanics?
Sure. I mean, I think it's obviously until we get the leaks or the reveals, it's going to be hard to say. But personally, I mean, I think with so many reprints, I don't think the meta is going to shift too much. Like, and I'm saying that in the sense of I think the decks that can still be consistent will still be prevalent decks in the meta. Obviously, if a deck like Steel Song loses a card like Ariel, like it's just it can't really function anymore. So that deck's probably going to shift around, or like if they lose too many songs, you know what I mean? It's probably going to fade off a little bit. But decks like Blurple, decks like I even think Purple Steel. I mean, we know Strength's coming back now. The dock build of Purple Steel is pretty much still alive. I mean, there's a couple cards that you're going to lose, but that deck has gotten a lot of new cards over the sets 5 through 8. And you still have your draw engines in that deck, like Doc and Genie. So I think with all these reprints, I mean, the vast majority of the set being reprints, we're going to see I mean, we're definitely going to see some of the same decks in the meta for sure. I don't think Blurple's going anywhere. We know that. Purple Steel, Amber Steel aggro, like you can already make a deck that's really good with, like Matt was saying, with just the cards from sets 5 through 8. The interesting thing I think will be obviously the new cards, if there's anything kind of game breaking or really meta defining, which is definitely a possibility. And also the reprints definitely matter. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm quite curious to see the common and uncommon reprints because maybe they're adding some pretty broken shift lines onto like a common or uncommon, like 1 or 2 drop that was never really used before, but now it will be. You really don't know what to expect from these rotational sets. And I think it'll be a fun meta. I mean, we're prepping for the invitational is going to be Infinity. So we kind of already know what's going to be really good, but again, we don't know for sure what's getting reprinted yet. So it's kind of like time will tell. And yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, and definitely like when it comes to Purple Steel, like you said, some of the things that we kind of like we were talking in the Discord yesterday, like we're pretty confident Goat is dead, right? We think the bounce mechanic is going to be coming back in some shape and or form, but not all of it. And that, like you mentioned, Rabbit might be dead, but then there's still a lot of things that are going to draw you cards in Purple Steel. You're still going to have that instant lore gain because we got White Rose in set 6. We got Cobra with the discard that gains you lore. So it's still going to be incredibly viable and still going to have some of that same instant lore gain, but still strong cards as well that you can challenge with. You mentioned Ariel and Steel Song. Mark, our resident Steel Song player as well. Kind of where have you fallen as you kind of think about the future of your kind of deck construction when it comes to rotation here and knowing what we have seen so far?
All right, first off, I love Wheel. I'm sorry, A Whole New World. One of
Wheel.
my favorite cards of all time. Let's be honest, everybody that's on here that's played against me knows this. Nothing new for y'all InkCasters. I think we see a shift to some of these decks. Dylan, you brought up that you're sort of interested to see, I think, the uncommons and the commons that are going to be reprinted. I'm actually really interested to see the new ones that they're coming. Maybe they give us the really interesting shift lines there. I think we still have the bases of some of these decks. Don't get me wrong, Steel Song is absolutely going to be injured if Ariel's not there. I think it becomes even more high roller-ish if you have to rely on Aurora 3 and, her whole healing ability to unexert her to sing multiple songs in a turn. You also still have Naveen for that deck. I think we have the core of a couple decks right now that we would call tier 3, tier 4, that might get a little bit of help with these 33 mechanically new cards, whether it be like Pirates or Illusions or even like red blue items, which obviously is going to take a huge hit not having cards like Maurice's Workshop if that's not reprinted. And definitely cards like Lucky Dime. However, there are other payoffs that are available right now. I think there's a bunch of people. Matt may have picked up a couple of the Prince of John Tantrum. What was that?
Oh,
What's that
Taylor
thing called?
definitely, yeah, Taylor
Oh
definitely
yeah,
picked up some of those.
Yeah, Royal Tantrum.
Royal
Royal
Tantrum.
Tantrum. Yeah, that's it. So I mean, there's definitely some stuff out there for the red blue items, but really interested to see what's coming back. This sort of reminds me back in from like the Magic world of what's known as like a core set, where every year they used to put out a set that was mostly reprints. Very similar to this. I think we're looking at what, like 83, 84% of this new set's going to be reprints.
Right.
I think maybe we see with set 9, set 13, set 17, maybe that's their sort of core set, where they put a lot of the reprints to help shape the meta. It'd be really interesting to see.
No, I agree. I think that the meta changing will be fun for the game, and I think it'll challenge us more as kind of competitive players. And I think one of the things that I'm interested to see as well is cards that end up being viable that we had never thought of before, right? Because we're
Yeah.
like, oh, this card is sits in the bulk. There's no reason to play it. It doesn't work with the current mechanics. But if the mechanics change and something that used to be like, oh, that's just going to be fodder for Brawl or whatever, and we don't see some of those come back and it ends up being more viable, like it'll be fun to start kind of playing some different cards, right?
Yeah, yeah. The one thing I am looking forward to with the returning cards, especially the legendaries, I was talking about that to Jack. To anyone who doesn't know Jack, that's like listening in or watching that, that's the infamous SSG Ghosty that's behind Churna Dogs. But one of the things we were talking about is we're going to have these returning legendaries, and they're going to have like the embossed treatment on them. So I believe they announced that they are reusing the art,
Hmm.
but it's now going to be embossed. So you're going to start seeing people, maybe they like that better when it comes down to the foiling. Maybe they don't. But it'll be really interesting to see how that goes. I was hoping we get a lot more new art, sort of like they did with the Captain Hook. And I think it was this actual set
Yeah.
where they came out with, what was it, Captain Hook 1 in steel with new art. I was hoping we'd see a little bit more of that. Maybe we do that in the future. We'll find out.
So, Mark, that's one of the questions I had for you. So, I feel like you're more of one of the collectors in the group as well, right? Because you send stuff off to get graded. We've seen you make some nice enchanted trades here and there. With rotation, does that increase your value of some of these original cards and the original printing? Like, what does that do for you from a collector standpoint?
From a collector standpoint, I don't look at it in the form of value. I get the pretty things that I like, and I'm happy with them. If in the future they appreciate, great. If they depreciate, oh well, I still like them. And I'll tell you right now, if anything at this rotation does depreciate and I really like it, I'm very much so looking forward to acquiring some of these cards. I am also very happy that I've got that playset of Robin Hoods already, because that card has done some nutty things this week when it was supposedly leaked. But we'll see how that goes if it's actually in the set.
Yeah, again, shout out to Mark the card plug. I got my foil Robin Hoods and regular Robin Hoods from him. So, yes. But yeah, I definitely feel that when it comes to like kind of getting what you like. I bought an enchanted Scrooge from Prodigy just because I really like that artwork. It sits on my
Yeah,
desk and I get to look at it every day when I'm working from home. So I just enjoy it. Um,
nice.
But Zeke and my your list is obviously, if you're going to continue to run Blurple, is going to see, I think, the least effect out of everyone overall. But have you guys kind of thought about the post rotation world of what you're gonna looking at, or what you're hoping for post rotation here?
Well, what I'm hoping for, and I kind of talked to about it a little bit with Mikey from Freedom Gaming. Like what I'm hoping for is like a similar item like popsicle to come back. So we can still have that kind of like bell popsicle synergy going. Um, Obviously, Hades is coming back, so that's a big thing that I'm excited about. That card loves me. I love that card, so why not? Um, Regarding the rest, I'm not so sure. I mean, there's still like a lot of cards that I'm gonna be able to keep. So, I'm excited about that. I'm just gonna wait until all the cards get revealed and see where we can upgrade and change the deck from there, pretty
Yep.
much.
Good. Zeke, what about you, bud?
Yeah, I think Blurple is like obviously super interesting because of Hades. But also I think like Robin Hood coming back is kind of crazy. Like that card's really strong. And like especially like it hasn't really been that good this set. But I mean when that card came out, like set three, set four, set five, that card dominated like steel decks.
Right.
Like
Well,
that
and
card was insanely strong.
It's starting to see a little bit of play over the last few weeks back in the song list as well. So just a heads
well,
up on that.
and not
Yeah, I
only
think like
that, if you're going for that super aggressive kind of like challenger in steel to be able just to wipe people's board, I mean, if you're gonna have that Robin Hood come back that gains lore off banishing, and you have Calhoun that we know is sticking around because that's a set six card, like that's a pretty brutal combo for instant lore gain and clearing someone's board there.
yeah, like I think like Purple Steel is gonna be strong because it's gonna have Robin Hood. I'm assuming they're still gonna have some kind of shift line for it. I don't know if they're gonna bring back the one drop. Maybe they bring back like a two drop for it. It's still gonna have Doc. Genie's gonna be really strong post rotation. Like it's already a good card. But it's gonna be even better. Sharks are gonna be really strong. If they rotate Zeus out, like Sharks are gonna be really strong. Like a lot of card like library is gonna be really good, I think. Um, I think a lot of cards that came out like since set five, like to set nine, are gonna be like the strong cards are just gonna get even stronger.
Right.
Because there's gonna be like less counters to them. Like Pete's gonna be broken. Like Pete's already broken.
Yeah, he's gonna be super broken now.
So like there's less good cards. There's a lot of reprints. There's gonna be like obviously. But some good cards are gonna go away. Like there's not gonna be Prince John. Um, I don't think Diablo's coming back because Diablo's a legendary, and if the leaks are true, then that's
Wait,
not the green
yeah, it's
legendary
not
that's
gonna
coming
be the
back.
green legendary. Yeah.
Um, so like Diablo's not coming back, Prince John's not coming back. I'm curious to see what happens with green because like they don't really have a draw engine. Like just green itself doesn't really have a draw engine outside of Diablo and Prince John that I can think of. That's like really good. Um, Obviously, they could print like a insanely broken green legendary card in like
Right.
this set. That's like the toughest thing. But like if they print just like an insanely broken card in the 33 cards, like then it just totally changes. Like all this talk is like worthless. Like they could just print a card that totally counters Blurple, and then everyone's like, "Oh, Blurple's tier zero." Oh well, actually, one
Never
of the
mind.
three cards just is an insanely broken green card. So now green's just the best deck.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the if there's a broken card, and I think the removal mechanics that come back is always going to be important, right? So we kind of look at where we're at for what we know is coming back from removal. So these are two huge cards in staples in red and steel, right? So Strength of a Raging Fire, that's awesome that that's coming back for the steel players from a removal standpoint. And yeah, we might not get Big Sisu back for those red decks, but I mean that little Sisu and just being able to target something to knock out, like that's a genie counter right there, right? My genie got CC'd on Sunday. So it's nice to see that some of those staples will be coming back and these getting the promo treatment within there as well. Any closing thoughts when it comes to rotation or anything that we've seen to this point? I know we've kind of seen some leak stuff. I know some of the max goo things that were out there in the discords, but I think once we kind of get some more solidified information, we can have a more educated discussion on that. But any other thoughts as before we move on from here?
I do wonder if they're gonna find like something that could counter like the Rhino shift option because with that right now being super
Yeah,
strong,
that's gonna be so strong.
I mean it's gonna be I mean like still someone's able to kind of counter it in a way with like Cindy being able to sing some kind of stuff.
Yeah, she can sing
Um,
Storm on turn two if they've got it. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean. So I'm wondering if also gonna add stuff to that, like with the Rhino shift and just like big cards
'Cause I
like
feel like
that.
Crab's probably not coming back either. We'll
Yeah,
see. But I feel like Crab's probably not coming back.
like
No,
he plays like
I thought Crab was dead when we saw Yelena in set seven here, or what is it, set eight, Reign of Jafar, right? Because she's like the baby Crab, except she quests for two, which is nice. So that's a different, but she comes in, buffs another character, and she's at three drop
That
cost as
that
well.
card actually pretty good.
No, I think it's great.
Crab,
With
that
the
card's really
first
good.
yeah, the first time I saw it, I'm like, this is really good, right? It doesn't Crab gives you more value because it allows you to do it when it leaves as well. But post rotation, I think that's going to see a ton of play as well in those purple decks.
Somebody was actually telling me to get through Rhino Shift, you could just play Mosquito Bite. Is that you do? It's one damage counter, I think, so the resist
Oh,
doesn't count.
Yeah,
So it goes through the resist, and now it doesn't have resist too. So I mean, if you want to play green, play Mosquito Bite.
that
really
talk
strong.
about the big brain tech there.
Shout out to Ralph for that. I mean,
Yeah,
Ralph
shout out.
Ralph told me about that, so I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, every time we're testing, he just keeps shouting about mosquito bite on the
Yep.
Discord, like mosquito bite.
Yep.
Yeah, Panic's gonna be good too. Like Panic will replace Bell.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Mm. They could
Yeah,
reprint Bell. I mean,
they
that's not
could.
out of the realm of possibility.
They could. That's what we were kind of talking about today is like, do we think Belle would come back? She's a super
I,
strong card.
I think
Uh,
because of Panic, Bell doesn't come back. Like that's like Mufasa, like we know is not coming back.
Rest in peace.
And I think like if you look at cheap like rest in peace.
Bye.
Like, you
Rest
look
in
at like cheap
power.
Googler. I think like cards that like do very similar things, but are like slightly different that we saw like in the last set is kind
yeah.
of like an indicator of what will not get reprinted.
Yeah, I got my foil panics for a reason.
I have my foil strengths, but now that's a promo, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So,
The prices, yeah.
Yeah, your value just got dogged there.
it's all good. You know, we like shiny cardboard, so it's all good. Mark knows. Mark knows how I am. I like
Don't
my
worry,
shiny
Matt.
cardboard.
We're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this.
No, you
I'm
guys
gonna be I'm gonna be really curious to see if we see some of these like tier two, tier three decks kind of take a step up with
Red
this as
Steel.
well.
yeah.
I'm thinking more like red green, like
Oh, yeah.
action based deck. Like
Mhm.
there's already a
That's
discard
common.
variant that's pretty good, but obviously Prince John's probably not coming back. But like red green actions, because I think the sharpshooter Robin Hood stays in. You got Maui Shark. You still have like a lot of strong individual cards in that archetype, and like Undermine is really good, but.
Mhm.
It'll be very interesting to see if they print some of these new, like some of the new stuff will maybe push those decks over the edge of becoming like a tier one deck.
Yeah, I would love to see something get added. Like I had a lot of fun at the beginning of this set testing all the Amber Sapphire stuff. I think it's really fun and I think it could be very good, but it just needs more
Mm.
help. It needs more help. So I think that will be interesting to see if that kind of comes out of there. So I think that's an excellent point, Dylan.
The
Yeah, and
amount of time.
that's a good deck already. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it doesn't lose anything to rotate. It only loses
Right.
Rapunzel to rotation, and that's it.
Ludwig's coming, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Letty.
The
Yeah,
amount of times that man cooked me with that deck, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Thunderbolt's just a thing. Like I can't get rid of that thing. Like
no, I mean, I can't tell you how many games testing. Like, I mean, even at locals playing against someone, they just kind of looked at me and I'm like, yeah, I just have you locked out with Thunderbolt. You can't get around him, and everything else is just going to keep questing. Sorry, sorry, not sorry.
what is that? 3 attack and like 9 health or 8 health? Oh,
7 health, 7 health. Yeah, but and yeah, and then sometimes you use him as a trap for. I mean, the big thing was using him as a trap, a Rapunzel trap, and then
Yeah.
you healed him, or yeah, you healed him, draw your card, and you're good to go. But nevertheless, but yeah, I think that's a good conversation. And as we get here in the next few weeks, I think Jose just posted in the Discord that we're going to see some more reveals here in the next week. So we're excited for that, and so we can have more of a structured conversation, an even more structured conversation around that. But yeah, so from there, we did want to promote the Battle of the Lumineers. We've got Zeke versus Jordan on Team Snuggly Duckling. So for those of you who didn't see the X post, so when we did our giveaway for our first episode, for a box of Japanese first chapter, when I spun that wheel to see who won, Team Snuggly Duckling won. And we're like, ooh, what should we do here? So I messaged them and said, hey, you guys won our giveaway. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to give it to somebody on your team, or do you want to kind of throw it back out there to the community? And they're like, yeah, let's throw it out there back to the community, but let's use it as an opportunity to kind of collaborate together. So we kind of hatched up this idea of creating a 1v1 match of Jordan versus Zeke because they have some previous beef. I think more beef on Jordan's side because I think Zeke has cooked him both times they've played. So we're gonna recreate some of that and feed off that energy. And we're working on the official format, but the two of them will be playing each other. I think we're looking at doing kind of the conquest
It's
style,
yeah, it's gonna
right?
be conquest style like finals, best of
Yeah,
five, three decks. Have to win all three decks.
perfect.
The story was the Jordan was here for the 10K and 5K, and after he topped the 5K, he came. We were all at Albert's house, and he came back. At this point, me and Albert it was Super Bowl too, so me and Albert we scrubbed out when we were watching the Super Bowl. We were drinking. There was like 4 or 5 buzz balls involved. There was one big buzz ball.
Children.
So Jordan comes over and Jordan's like, "Oh, I'm the best." I think he beat Dylan that day. So he was like, "Yeah, Purple Steel's like the easiest matchup ever." He was like, "Purple Steel's free. Dylan sucks." He was like, "Zeke, you suck. Purple Steel's trash." And I was like, I was wasted. And I was like, "Oh, let's rack him up. Grab your deck." And so we played and I cooked him 2-0. Like the easiest matches of my life. And I made him chug a full buzzball.
A lukewarm
A
basketball. A
lukewarm,
hard
like hot. It was hot. It was a hot buzzball. I mean,
Um,
it's like a hot buzzball. And then Jordan also said that also makes me the best purple steel player in Florida. Yeah.
oh, I think Dylan will
Dude,
rightfully
we're gonna
challenge you
do
on that.
that.
No, I don't think so. I think he's pretty undisputed.
And again,
I
this is
remember
what
that day. He did cook me. Wait, he was on Matt's Under the
Green
Sea
still,
deck,
Yeah,
green,
and
yeah, green yellow.
yeah, it was not a fun time for me. He just had like the nuts and just completely ran me over. But
yeah, it happens. But yeah, chugging buzzballs. There will be no chugging of buzzballs here, but there will be prizes given away. So we're gonna give away that first chapter box. And one of the Team Snuggly Duckling supporters, Zoe, shout out to Zoe, saw the post, reached out to them, and let them know that he wanted to add to the pot on behalf of their team as well. And they're going to be adding a full box of Japanese Floodborn. So those are going to be some great cards that you can get for your add to your collection. Just the rules behind it is we're going to get the video posted up once the match happens, but go to the post on X, comment who you think is going to win. Make sure you're following both teams, and we're going to be selecting a winning prediction from those comments before the video drops. And you will be the lucky winner of a Disney Lorcana first chapter Japanese box and a Rise of the Floodborn box, which I think is a great way to add to your collection and to see some quality matchups among two of the better players here in our community. So please go out and follow that, and we look forward to seeing the results of Zeke beating Jordan.
Quick shout out to Nixon for starting this in the first place.
Yeah. Nixon was the
Makes
one
sense.
that
yeah,
came to us and said, "Hey, I've got this. Let's give it away." We're like, "All right." So now it's kind of morphed into this. So yeah, that's been the great catalyst for that overall. So, but overall, folks, thanks again for joining us. I think we had a great week as a team here. Look to continue that this weekend and kind of wrap up set champs because we got what, 2 weekends left, right?
You know it.
2 weekends left of set champs, running into Fabled and running into some of the bigger events that are coming this fall. So please continue to follow along, follow us on our socials, and comment and give us any feedback that you guys want. We look forward to talking to you guys next week. Thanks everyone for joining. Peace.
Take care.